In the year 2000, my husband and I had been running the Harmony Bakery in Palo Alto for 10 years. We made spinach cheese breads with herbs de Provence and red onions, double-dunked chocolate croissants, braided challahs, and whole wheat cinnamon rolls with raisins, and we were beloved by the neighborhood. We had won an international bread contest with bread from all over the world, as well as more locally, we won Best Bread in Town 6 years running from the Palo Alto Weekly. Woo! Yeah. Our landlord wanted to raise our rent from $3,000 to $12,000. They said it was market because that's what the Starbucks was paying across the street. We fought it in court and lost on the same day that George W. Bush was elected president, which at the time seemed like the worst thing that could happen to this country. We were so innocent back then. So there was a co-op market. And well, famously, Al Gore, there was a contested election, and we held out hope that Al Gore was going to find the hanging Chad and was going to be elected president. And there was a supermarket, the co-op, that invited us to move in with them for very low rent. But then the co-op market decided to close completely rather than expand, and Al Gore gave up. And we were stuck with George Bush as president and nowhere to move our bakery. A faithful customer offered us a warehouse by the railroad tracks, and we decided to try to make it work. It was huge, 20,000 square feet, and filthy. But we just rolled up our sleeves and we cleaned and we cleaned. We had to be FDA certified, and so we diligently checked every item that they needed us to do, and including also what the city of Palo Alto planning department needed, the architectural review board, et cetera, et cetera. They all had hoops for us to jump through, and sometimes they contradicted each other. The fire department demanded that our smokestack had to be over 20 inches tall for safety reasons, but the architectural review board wanted it no less than 10 for aesthetic reasons. We went with safety. We also had to dig a trench for a sewer line, and the bid was $100 a foot, and we had a lot of feet. So my husband borrowed a jackhammer and did it all himself. After he had painted the whole floor, we were ready for the FDA inspection. The stern man with the clipboard looked around at all the months of work that Phil had done, and he said, "Wow, this is fine, but you're gonna have to paint the ceiling." We looked up in horror at the huge expanse. We had been closed for months. We were out of money. We were kind of hoping to be open tomorrow. What were we gonna do? We had some real faithful customers that were keeping in touch on an email list. They were very impatient for our aromatic loaves and decadent pastries to come out of the production line again. They would yell at us on the streets, "Hey, hurry up and open already!" So I put out an urgent notice about our ceiling, and buckets of paint started showing up at our warehouse door. They didn't exactly match, but we used them all and created what we called our Neapolitan ceiling: white, brown, and pink. Well, the FDA was happy, but the city of Palo Alto still had one more thing: a handicap parking sign that could only be ordered from very far away. So we were waiting for this last piece of the puzzle for we could finally reopen the Harmony Bakery after this months-long ordeal. This sign was due to come in the mail on September 11th, 2001. Their mail did not come that day, and not for another week. And when we finally opened, we opened under a national cloud of despair and sorrow. But we were back in business to bake another day.